Well, a bombshell FBI report has declared Alec Baldwin did pull the trigger in the shooting death of a crew member on a movie set last year. For almost a year now, Baldwin has claimed the gun went off by accident.
The FBI said he pulled the trigger. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification, multifaceted gun training, also offering aerial photography and drone services. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. But let's talk about this. I have done several videos on this subject, and I have said repeatedly, if you've seen those videos or even looked through them, that the story that we were told was a bit flaky. Now, what I am talking about is Alec Baldwin, if you say, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," you could not have been in a coma up until now. He was on the set of his movie Rust. He discharged a firearm, killing a cinematographer and also injuring a person named Joel Souza, who had some role in the movie, part of the production of the movie. But I've gone through two videos about that. And the FBI has now put out a forensic report as to what they found with the firearm, and as a Fox News article titled "FBI Forensic Report Concludes Alec Baldwin Pulled Trigger on Rust Set Report." Subtitle: Alec Baldwin was holding a gun that discharged on a New Mexico set, killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. A new discovery has been made in a fatal Rust shooting involving Alec Baldwin. According to ABC News, which obtained a copy of the FBI's forensic report, the gun used on the New Mexico set could not have been fired without the trigger being pulled, and I said that repeatedly through my videos. The FBI conducted an accidental discharge test and determined the gun used in the fatal shooting of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins could not have been made to fire without a pull of the trigger, the report stated according to the outlet. The test shows that when the Colt .45 caliber F2I P.A.N. single-action revolver's hammer was in the quarter and half-cocked positions, the gun would not fire without the trigger being pulled. When the hammer was in a fully cocked position, the gun could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger while working the internal components were intact and functional, according to the outlet. Now, I'm not sure. I haven't read this article, so I'm new to this article also. I don't know if they're testing the actual firearm. I'm hoping that they will let us know that, because that's very important to know. In December, Baldwin, who was in possession of the firearm on set, told ABC News that he did not fire the weapon. The trigger wasn't pulled, Baldwin said. "I didn't pull the trigger." That was an interview with George Stephanopoulos where he stated, "I did not pull the trigger." He vehemently said that, which I disagreed with. Nearly 10 months since the fatal Rust shooting, which resulted in Hutchins' death, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office has received a full forensic report from the FBI. According to a press release, the Santa Fe Sheriff's detectives received the FBI's completed forensic reports on August 2nd. They were then forwarded to the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator for review. The OMI has advised the Sheriff's Office that they required these forensic reports to finalize their investigation. The release reads, the Sheriff's Office received the official OMI reports on Wednesday. Per the release, detectives with the Homicide and Computer Crimes Unit at the Suffolk County Police Department in New York are still actively assisting Santa Fe Sheriff's Office in obtaining and processing Alec Baldwin's phone calls. That's interesting. The District Attorney's Office has been working with the Suffolk County PD and Baldwin's lawyer to acquire the phone records, Santa Fe County Sheriff Eden Mendoza said. Once Suffolk County PD completes its agency assist and sends those records to New Mexico law enforcement, our detectives will need to then thoroughly review those phone records for evidentiary purposes. Once the phone records were obtained or are obtained, as well as the official OMI and forensic reports are reviewed, the Santa Fe Sheriff's investigation case will be sent to the district attorney for review and ultimately finally or final charging decisions. That's interesting, because will he actually be charged? Is what we're going to see some of that elite privilege, because that's the only privilege there is in the world. There's no white privilege. There's an elite privilege. Elite, elite privilege. Well, why do I say that? Okay, I'm going to point you to, I say elite privilege. It's not necessarily your skin color, it's your status in life. How do I get that? I have to explain myself. I feel I have to explain myself. I say elite privilege. There are white people locked up in Russia right now, American citizens, who have been locked up for years. But as soon as Brittany Griner got locked up, all of a sudden there's an outrage going on. So what happened to, if there's white privilege, what happened to these other white people who were locked up in Russia too? So yeah, that's a whole nother social commentary. But we're going to go here. Now, if you remember, there was some controversy about the armorer on the set. Her name was Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. And there was apparently some issues with her. I'm not going to get too deep into this article in the New York Post. You can go read it. But there were some issues with her being inexperienced. And I said back then that they were going to throw her under the bus because she is the armorer. Forget about all the safety precautions that were pushed aside by Baldwin. They're going to try to bring the hammer down on her. And there have been there's information that has been received where there's communications between members of the Russ set who are trying to point a finger at this armorer. And it's kind of, damning. But I said they're going to try to make her the fall person for this whole incident. And she's complaining about her career being basically, effed, as you can see from the headline there. And yeah, who's going to hire her? But it's partly her fault. She took on that job as lead armorer after a short time and only one prior movie set where she was the lead armorer. She kind of jumped in and over her head. She should have thought about that. But coming back to Baldwin, I'm sure they're going to start, circling the wagons around him. The people on the set of Rust, and also the Hollywood elite who are probably going to try to back him. And I doubt there are going to be any charges against him, which is really unfortunate because I think he should be charged. If you go back to the interview with Stephanopoulos, you can find it on my earlier video. He vehemently denied pulling the trigger or even cocking the gun at one point. So this FBI, like I said, way back then, a single action like that, you gotta cock the hammer in full cock to get that thing to go off like that. But you can go check those videos out. But this is a very interesting follow-up, and we should continue to keep an eye on this because I'm curious to see if the district attorney is actually going to bring charges, or are they just going to try to bury this? We'll see. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time the video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.